Welcome back to In Case You Missed It Wrestling. I am your host, Blackhawk, and we had quite a good Raw this week. I'm going to be honest, it was a pretty good Raw. The Raw show has been fantastic ever since moving to Netflix. Smackdown towards the end of the year last year really took it for me as, the better show out of the two. But since moving to Netflix, they have made sure to put on an incredible product week to week, blowing SmackDown out of the water. Now, I still believe wholeheartedly that NXT is better week to week. The storylines may not be as good, but they're consistently good. Monday Night Raw has some very, very, very good storylines, but some of them fall flat. NXT storylines usually have a good ending point and don't take the time to fall flat. The main roster has a lot of long-term stories, and NXT has a lot of short-term stories that could become long-term stories in the future, if that makes a lot of sense. But Raw was really, really good this week. Had an incredible match as the main event that I sincerely hope isn't the last time we see them face off against each other. I doubt it will be, because they put on an amazing, amazing product every single time that they're in the ring together. But let's get it started with a promo from Sami Zayn. Now, as we know, last week, Kevin Owens challenged Sami Zayn to a match at Elimination Chamber. So this is Sami's response to that. Sami says no two wrestlers' careers have been intertwined like his and Kevin's, and with a history as long as theirs, it doesn't come without its betrayals and forgivenesses. But this time, it's different, because it wasn't about sending a message or getting ahead in your career. It was about ending Sami's career, but couldn't get the job done. Sami says he isn't 100%, but he has enough in the tank for this match at Elimination Chamber. And I am excited. At this point, me as a fan, as well as the fans in the arena, are very excited, because we know Kevin and Sami can put on a show stealer. The Elimination Chamber PLE could be incredible, with everything else that's going on, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will 1000% steal the show without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Adam Pearce will walk out and say that they talked about this. We all want the match, but the answer is no. Medical hasn't even cleared Sami to be in the ring tonight. Sami would recall the history that he and Kevin have with Adam Pearce and tells him that I'm not leaving this ring until you give me the match. Pearce would say he can't sanction this match, which means he can't help Sami. Kevin could end his career and there's nothing they could do about it. Sami says that also means that if he wanted to end Kevin's career, he could do that, and agrees to the unsanctioned match against Kevin Owens. And Adam Pearce makes it official. Now, all three of them have a long history together with Ring of Honor and a few other things, but mostly Ring of Honor, right? Adam Pearce was a big name on Ring of Honor. Kevin Steen was a big name on Ring of Honor, and El Generico was a huge name on Ring of Honor. They all have an extensive match history with each other, and just a lot of time spent around each other outside of just in the ring. So I'm very, very excited for this, and to see, kind of the fallout of everything that happens, because, Sami could go into this still not medically cleared. He could still go into this with an injured neck, which is kind of crazy. They don't do a lot of, these injury storylines anymore with the WWE. They've been pretty cautious in wanting people to be, healthy when they're doing things. From that moment, we would go backstage with the Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio is worried for Liv Morgan, with Bianca and Naomi looming around the locker room, looking for her and Raquel. She says not to worry about Liv Morgan says not to worry about it, and to worry about his match with AJ Styles later on in the night. Finn Balor would walk up and say at the end of the night, they're going to be back in business with Liv already in the Elimination Chamber, Raquel having an Elimination Chamber qualifier match, and Dominic Mysterio facing off against AJ Styles. But before he would leave, he would emphasize that there will be no new members. I don't even really know who they could add to the Judgment Day at this point. You know, there is just going around that they have signed Malachi Black, or as you may know him, Aleister Black, back to the WWE. I would hate to see him in the Judgment Day. It would honestly make me so mad. He deserves so much better than that. He was in a really, really cool faction with AEW, and I kind of want to see him go, you know, on a singles run, right? A singles, you know, chance. Maybe not throw him right back into another faction. But yeah, I don't really understand why they would want a new member or who they could even really add. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, Chad Gable might bring somebody back from AAA. Who knows? I really don't know what's going on with Chad Gable either, because I don't really keep up with AAA, and they don't do a ton of publicity as far as I can tell. Like CMLL, I get a lot of publicity for. AEW, I get a ton for. New Japan, I get a ton for. Noah, I get a ton for. AAA, I think I follow them on social media, but I haven't seen them post anything in a while. It might be just something I need to look into, which yeah, I need to do better about that anyways. But yeah, it's kind of funny that they want to add a new member, but there isn't really anybody on the roster to add. Unless they're calling somebody up for NXT. But even then, I don't really know who they would add from there. Unless they just add the entire Shawn Spears family, which, yeah, no. We'd move on from that segment to AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. AJ Styles looks incredible for coming back from an injury. He's just, you know, one of the best of all time. There's no way around it. Just is what it is. He's one of the best of all time. He's always going to be good until, you know, it's time to go. Dominic Mysterio, I think, is incredibly underrated in the ring. I think he is a future world champion, just like his dad. I just don't know how long it's going to be before we get that side of him, right? He's kind of stuck in this Judgment Day vortex right now, and I think that kind of tarnishes his reputation a little bit. As fun as the Judgment Day used to be, they're kind of on the bottom tier of factions in the WWE right now, and it's just is what it is. I think he could do better outside of the Judgment Day too. You know, him and JD McDonough. I think the whole Judgment Day crew could do better apart. Maybe Liv and Raquel tag together, right? But as far as like the whole crew goes, they should just call it. That should be it. Carlito would attempt to interfere, but would fail when it was most important, and AJ Styles would pick up the win. Give this one an 81 out of 100, which is just a flat 4. It's really a 4.05, but we're going to call it a flat 4 just to, you know, ease of use or whatever. We would get a stare down with Braun Breaker after he would attempt to spear AJ Styles and miss, with AJ Styles dodging him and hit Dominic Mysterio instead. So it pretty good moment. I don't know when we're getting this, because as of yesterday, I saw that the plans for Mania were Finn Balor and AJ Styles. I don't know. They haven't even started to tease that yet. They've been teasing him with Braun Breaker. So I don't know. You know, none of them are in the chamber, so we could see this at Elimination Chamber. So I don't know. I really don't know. It is odd. They're kind of stacking the Elimination Chamber lineup to be a long PLE, because the chamber matches take about an hour-ish, right? And you got 2 of those. And they've been running 4-hour shows, so that's like half your show. Just the chamber matches. So if they add more matches, we're gonna get some short matches. And with Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in an unsanctioned match, that could also be an hour-ish. You could push that to an hour easy. I think they did a good job with the Cody Rhodes ladder match against Kevin Owens in not making it drag on for too long. They got straight in, got straight to the action, and finished and had an incredible match. You don't have to have a 40-minute classic on every PLE, which I think the WWE needs to learn. You can have a 5-minute classic, right? You can have a 5-minute match where two guys just go out there and just beat the hell out of each other for 5 minutes. Somebody wins and have a great moment. But they want to push these 20-ish minute matches. It is what it is. They're good matches. Like, I'm not complaining about the matches, but I'm saying that if you timed things properly and produce them a little bit better, you could fit more onto the card. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We would then go backstage with American Made, and they promised Chad Gable that when he got back, they would have gold around their waist. Ivy would tell Dakota Kai that she will take her down tonight. Dakota Kai would tell her, many have tried and many have failed. We will go directly into their match, and I'm glad they're both somewhat finally getting a push. Somewhat finally getting a singles push. I think Ivy Nile has all the talent in the world, and the women's mid-card division on Raw holds some of the best talent in the main roster. And if Dakota Kai can stay healthy for long enough, she's going to have a big year. One of the big things about her is she is incredibly injury prone, which is sad. It is sad. It's unfortunate. But if she can stay healthy, if she can stay consistently healthy, I think she has a huge year ahead of her. And I think Ivy Nile also has a really, really big year ahead of her. I think we will finally see some defining moments from Ivy Nile as far as her career goes. Now, if she wins the championship, I don't know. I don't really know if she will win the Intercontinental Championship this year. But I think this will be a big year for her career. Lyra Valkyria would be watching on, and she was not shy about saying she was rooting for Dakota Kai. Pretty good match. Pretty good. I gave it a 76 out of 100, which is a 3.8. Right outside the cusp of a 4-star match. Pretty good match. And this would solidify that we will see Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria next week for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So very excited about that. That's going to be a fun match. Their last match was great. This will be probably either equally as great or maybe better. Who knows? Gunther would cut a promo and come out to the ring just like Jey Uso does, including attempting to get the crowd to do the yeet with him, and they were not having it. I guess they didn't they didn't want to do it with him. Gunther says he understands why the fans don't appreciate him because Gunther says that he understands why the fans don't appreciate him because him performing for them is like reading Shakespeare to a dog, which is a Zack Sabre Jr. quote where he said that performing technical wrestling for an American audience is like reading Shakespeare for a dog. I mean, I don't 100% agree, but I can definitely see the point. I 100% see the point, but I don't agree. I think there's enough fans that enjoy the technical style that you could be successful with it. But I get it. I get the point. I do. I really do. He says that Gunther says he is sick and tired of stepping into the ring with people who couldn't tie his boots. He tried to tell Jay that he doesn't measure up, but the fans keep giving him a false sense of hope that he could win, causing him to dig his own grave. Gunther says he outclasses Jay in every aspect of this sport, and Jey Uso's blood is on the fans' hands. he would go over to the commentary desk and ask Pat McAfee if he thought Jay could win at WrestleMania, and Pat says he believes that Jay could win. Gunther would make an advance at Pat McAfee before Jey Uso would come out and attack Gunther. Pretty cool segment. I actually enjoyed that. That was a really cool segment. A little bit of a different side to Gunther that we've seen more recently. I liked it. I think we're getting this, not evil Gunther, right? The mean Gunther back, which is what I think the fans have been asking for. He's become a little too nice. If you get what I'm saying. He's not the same guy as the Intercontinental Champion. It just is what it is. We would then go backstage with Liv and Raquel. They're asked about the video with Jade, and they deny all involvement. They also want to say that Raquel is going to beat Roxanne and make her way into the Elimination Chamber. It's interesting that they deny any involvement, because a group like this, it looks like they would, be the ones to say that they were involved. And they are denying all involvement, which is crazy, but crazier things have happened. We would then go into Penta versus Pete Dunne, another fantastic match from the both of them. They both are incredible wrestlers, and I can't wait for Pete Dunne to finally get the flowers that he deserves. He has been kind of on the back burner and not really utilized well by the WWE in the recent years. And I'm hoping that even with Tyler Bate coming back, we can see a big push for Pete Dunne. Right now, I truly believe that we will be seeing a triple threat match at WrestleMania with Penta, Pete Dunne, and Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know how real that is, right? I'm not booking the shows. I don't make these decisions, but it would be something I would really enjoy watching. It's another fantastic match from both of them, right? I said that before, but I really believe that Pete Dunne is in for a good year. I really want him to have a good year. I think Kaiser is in for a big year too. I think Kaiser could make a play at the Intercontinental Championship. And I hope that they stop with these extreme long title reigns. Like, there's a handful of people that could have an extremely long title reign, and it makes sense. Oba Femi on NXT is one of those people, right? He's just incredibly dominant. Gunther, one of those people. Braun Breaker, while being an incredible talent, is not one of those guys who you want to see holding a title belt forever. You want to see him fighting for it constantly. You want to see the drive. You want to see him, either making plays for it or making plays with it. And we just haven't seen him do anything with it recently, and I think that's a shame. I'm not saying he should have a title match every week, but once every other week, maybe at least have him be on the show. Like, he was on the show this week, but maybe just have him do something other than attack somebody from behind. I'm not writing it, but I think a lot of people are on the same wavelength as me on that. But I do believe we see Penta challenge for the Intercontinental Championship soon. I think a lot of this will be happening very, very soon. And I think if it doesn't happen at Mania, we're looking at a very, very big, especially for the mid-card titles. Ludwig Kaiser would attempt to interfere to help Pete Dunne, but he didn't want any help and would fail to actually help Pete Dunne at all. Penta would take control and get the win. I gave this one an 83 out of 100. It was 4.15. Very good match. Very, very fun. I like it. I like it a lot. After the match, Kaiser would attack Penta, and then Dunne would attack Kaiser for making him lose, and then Penta would take them both out. So this is where I get my idea of, maybe a triple threat match with all of them at WrestleMania. We would then go into a Jey Uso promo with Kathy Kelly and asks him how he's feeling confidence-wise. He would say that everyone keeps doubting him, but who is standing before you as the Royal Rumble winner? And at WrestleMania, he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship and shock the world. So I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are not happy about this. I'm looking forward to it. I think it is going to be. I think it's going to be a good match. He really needs to make up for last year's Mania, that stinker of a match that they put on. And I really do think it's going to be good. I think it'll be fine. I think a lot of people are freaking out about small stuff right now. And I think they just need to, calm down and just enjoy the ride, right? There's too many online know-it-all, wrestling whatevers, and they're ruining the sport for people. And it's so annoying. I'm so tired of seeing these people that believe they know 10 times better than the company that's running the entire show. But what are you going to do? I can't control these people either. Otherwise, I'd shut them up. Roxanne would have a video promo, and then right after that, we would see a War Raiders video promo on the Creed brothers. We would go into Raquel Rodriguez versus Roxanne Perez. This was a great main roster debut match for Roxanne. I'm not sure if she's going to land on Raw permanently or if this is just, where they had for her for an Elimination Chamber match, right? There's been no word whatsoever about her signing with either SmackDown or Raw as of right now. She's still on NXT. So, I don't know. I really don't know about that. I believe we'll be hearing about it soon, right? She's in the Elimination Chamber. We've got to be hearing about it soon. Like if she goes to WrestleMania while still on the NXT roster, crazy. Like it's somebody just not thinking. But Raquel, I think, is also an underrated member of the Judgment Day. I feel like she also suffers the same fate as Dominic Mysterio, where some people don't like her just because she's in the Judgment Day. And I think she is a really, really good talent that if they could get out of the Judgment Day, we could see a lot out of them. So I'm pretty high on Raquel, not as much Liv, but I think Raquel could have a pretty big year if they're able to just break the Judgment Day up as a whole. Bianca Belair and Naomi would attack Liv Morgan, causing a distraction for Raquel and allowing Roxanne to get the win. So Roxanne is confirmed for the Elimination Chamber. It was a 74 out of 100, 3.7. It was fine. It was a good match, nothing crazy. The moment to write home about was the end with Liv and Bianca Belair and Naomi. So nothing crazy really happened in the match. Just kind of what you expect from a giant versus a tiny person. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good. We get a Seth Rollins interview. It says that the only way to Mania is through the Elimination Chamber, and the only way to the Elimination Chamber is through Finn Balor. Balor needs this win, but Seth needs it more. Before Kathy Kelly could send it back to the ring, Karrion Kross would appear. He would call out Sammy and his delirious friends and their crazy mindsets, is what he said. Jay thinks he's going to beat Gunther. Seth thinks he's going to beat John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. And Sammy actually believes that he stands a chance in his state against Kevin Owens. But he tells Sammy there's still time to change your mind. I don't know what kind of programming they're running there. This is the first time we've really seen anything substantial from Kross in a couple weeks. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I've heard also about Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross at Mania, which at this point I'm not excited about, but they could change my mind very, very soon. Io Sky would then get a video promo for her match against Rhea Ripley at the Raw After Elimination Chamber, which will be huge, huge. We then get a New Day promo, and you really can't hear him speak at the beginning of it because of all the boos. The fans would finally calm down a little bit, and they would then call out the fans for loving Rey Mysterio and hating the New Day for telling Big E the truth. Kofi says he is better than Rey Mysterio because he has more title wins than Rey and has never left the company. They try to justify their attack on Rey Mysterio after the show cut off last week, but failed to get the crowd behind them, saying that the crowd should be thankful they were lenient on Rey because they could have given him the old Yeller treatment, which is, taking him out behind the barn, right? Not a good thing. Definitely a crime. Dragon Lee and the LWO would come out. Dragon Lee would tell the New Day it was disrespectful what they did to Rey, and would continue speaking in Spanish before stopping and saying, "Here's something that you will understand," and yells, "New Day sucks." The LWO attacks the New Day, leaving them helpless and running out of the ring. LWO is something that I think could also potentially have a big year, especially with the push for the tag team titles and in the tag division. They're almost forgettable, which is sad because Dragon Lee is incredible, Rey Mysterio is incredible, but the rest of LWO is forgettable. And I think they would fare better if they sent them back down to NXT, let them kind of build their name back up and compete in the incredible tag division that NXT has. But again, I don't book the show. We then see Bianca Belair and Naomi backstage saying that they are glad to know the truth about Jade Cargill, and Liv is basically on her own now that Raquel is out of the chamber match. They will make sure that it's one of them two at Mania as they both won their chamber matches. We would then move into the main event of the night, which is Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. And guys, they could run this match 20 out of 20 times, and I don't believe I could ever rate it below a 4-star. I think they're great. I think they work incredibly well together. I think they have some insane in-ring chemistry. And I just don't understand why Finn Balor is being kept almost behind a closed door, per se. Not really, but he's not picking up wins. He's not doing anything truly important. Like, why are you holding this talent like this? I think 2025 will also be a big year for Finn Balor. I think he'll finally get out of that Judgment Day vortex, and we'll finally see him break out on his own and have an incredible year. Year's just starting. It's still mid-February. We still have 10 more full months to go. We'll have to see what happens. Seth Rollins would get the win with no Judgment Day interference. So that's a big key point that I want to, highlight. No Judgment Day help. None at all. Which does not bode well for Finn or the Judgment Day next week. And I'm sure we will hear about it. I did give this match a 96 out of 100, which is a 4.8. Incredible way to end the show and leave, a lot of the fans looking forward to next week. They only have 2 matches set for next week, which is Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's Tag Team Championships. So we could be looking at a really, really good week next week too. But this week so far has started off with a bang, and I'm looking forward to the Chamber. I think it's going to be good. I think people are getting their panties in a twist over something that's not that serious, something that shouldn't impact their lives as much as it does. But hey, I'm the one with the YouTube channel. What do I have to say about that? But who knows? I think we're in a good spot with the WWE. I think it's only going to get better. I think people just need to shut up and watch and just let the ride play out. Just let things finish, and we'll see where new things start, right? Who knows? Who knows where we could be in 6 months? Who knows where we could be in a year, right? A lot of people rely on instant gratification nowadays, and when they aren't satisfied, instantly they crash out. I try my best not to be one of those people. I try to let things play out and see how things go before I crash out. And so it's not as easy for everybody. You know, I'm not saying I'm better because of it, but I understand that it's not super easy for everybody to do. But I would encourage you to try to have that same mindset of we've got a lot of time left. We don't have to have exactly what we want as soon as we want. Last year around this time, we would have been insanely happy that Jey Uso won. Yeah, okay, I take that back. We would not be as happy as Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, but we might be happy if he got a shot at the title and won Money in the Bank. If he won Money in the Bank, I think everybody would have loved that. But it is what it is. It is what it is, and it is the end of this episode. This has been, in case you missed it, wrestling with Blackhawk for Monday Night Raw, and we will be back tomorrow for NXT. So I hope you have a great evening, and I hope to see you back for tomorrow. Peace.